The federal government has added additional requirements for purchases of real estate starting on 1 March. But it doesn't just apply to new transactions after 1 March. If you have a house that you're going to close on after that time, you're also covered by this new rule. Let's find out how that affects us. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. The new rules I talked about in the intro are based through FinCEN, which is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Now what does FinCEN do? FinCEN looks for illegal money laundering. So you can see on these advisories, they're looking at all kinds of different ways that money can be laundered, and one of those is possibly real estate. And specifically today we're talking about residential real estate reporting. We can see from their website that starting March 1st, residential real estate rule requires certain professionals involved in real estate closings and settlements to submit reports to FinCEN regarding certain non-finance transfers of residential real estate to legal entities or trusts. So what does all that mean? We can break that down into the three components that make up this new rule by FinCEN. Number one is the property type. If there's a single family home, a townhome, a condominium, or even vacant land that can be used for residential development, that's the first factor that causes this new reporting to the federal government. The second factor is the identity of the buyer. If they are a limited liability corporation, a partnership, or a trust, then they're considered an entity rather than a person. And so if you have one of those entities buying residential land, the third factor considered under FinCEN is financing of that purchase. If it's a cash transaction, then it has to be reported. We have to go through the reporting standards to meet the FinCEN requirement. If there's a loan or financing going through a bank or an institution that has anti-money laundering obligations, then they don't have to report because the bank is already going to take care of, or the lender will already take care of that reporting. They're already meeting the requirement for FinCEN. But if they're not, let's say you have a property that you want to sell, you get approached by an LLC, and they say, hey, can you do a seller carryback? Now, a seller carryback is where you act almost like a lender, where they're going to pay you in installments, and you might have a big lump sum at the end, but you're not a bank, and you can't check the real identity of the person in the LLC. So you don't meet those anti-money laundering obligations. Now that we understand the three factors involved, let's go back to number two, which were the buyer type. Not all trusts need to report. It depends on whether they're considered a transferee entity or a transferee trust. And that's something that you have to go and check with title company about to find out if that's where you fit in, if you're a buyer or a seller. This is something you always want to check with the title company about to find out if you're forming a trust or if you have a trust, let's say you inherited property, where that fits in. If you're in a trust and you're not accepted, or you're an LLC or in a corporation, what kind of information is FinCEN looking to collect? Fortunately, the FinCEN website has answers to almost any question you could ask. So if we scroll down to, let's say, section H4, we'll find the type of information that is required to be reported during this kind of transaction. So if a real estate report is required, they have to identify the reporting person, the residential real property being transferred, the transferee entity or the transferee trust, beneficial owners of the entity or trust, certain individuals representing the trust or the entity in the transfer, and if the transferee is a transferee trust, any trustee that is an entity, so any trustee who might be an LLC or a corporation, and the transferor. And again, the purpose of this reporting is to stop money laundering from people in the United States or from foreign entities as well. And you might think, well, this doesn't really apply to me. This is a little bit down in the weeds. But the fact of the matter is, I live pretty close to Sun City, and there are a lot of homes that are in trusts. Even some regular residential real estate, people in their 50s have put their homes into a trust. And if this reporting isn't made, it could significantly delay the closing on that transaction. So you have to get up front, get in front of this process, and make sure that all this information is being reported through the title company in order to close the transaction. In the meantime, if you're a seller and you have a cash buyer coming in, your agent representing you and have them contact the title company as soon as possible so that you don't have a delay in your closing or perhaps the entire transaction falls through. If you have any questions about this, I have a couple title companies I work with. I can refer you to them. They can give you the information you need in case you're considering putting your home into a trust or if you're a seller and someone's made an offer. Because even if they made an offer in February, if that property is not going to close until after 1 March, those reporting requirements must still be met before you can close. So thanks for stopping by. If you have any questions about real estate, you want to have a cup of coffee, give me a call. Meet somewhere, sit down, and go through what the market is offering right now.